Okay, we're here in the official test kitchen. Well, actually, it's just my kitchen, and we're testing it. It's a 5-gallon painter's pail from Home Depot. I've got it approximately halfway full of water, and we're going to try some immersion tests on some of the waterproof containers we were talking about. We're going to put them all in and then see how they do. And in each one of these, I have a plain paper napkin. And if there is any leakage, the napkin will show it. Each one of these containers has a napkin in it, except for the one Outdoor Products immersion bag, because I just happen to have an electronic VOM in one of these, so I'm going to risk this as the test for that. But anyway, so let's start with the flat ones. We're going to put them in on the bottom and then put the heavier ones on top and then pull them all out, dry them off, and show you what we have. First, we'll take the Coghlan's Marine dry bag, put that in. Okay. A few air bubbles, I think just from the seal, and that's still got some air trapped in it, so it's going to float. Eventually they'll push down. Secondly, the plain old Ziploc bag, the poor man's wet bag. Then we're going to do the dry box from Outdoor Products. Push that down. Okay, that's bobbing, so that's still floating. Good test for floating. We've got the small box from Outdoor Products. We've got the replacement Decon box with the top that I'm not really fond of. We're going to put that in, see how that does. That's bobbing so far. We've got the original Decon box with the rubber top, the one I do prefer. And to top it all off, this. Now it's getting kind of full, so I'm going to put this in last, basically because I'm afraid. But let's do this. Let's just push them all down. Okay, get everybody below the water. And see what we've got here. Alright, let's take the biggest one out first. This is the Outdoor Products medium dry box. We're going to wipe around the seal so we don't get any residual water dripping on there. And it looks pretty dry. I don't see any water leakage at all. Let's see if we can get this open without hitting the napkin. Okay. And voila. Dry as a bone. Pass. Put that down. The next one, let's get the little I keep calling them otter box, the little Outdoor Products box. Again, this is the one I use as a battery box and some other small first aid kits. Let's go ahead and dry this off on the outside, making sure to get any residual off of the seal. Open it. Again, dry as a bone. No water spotting at all. So, pass. Again. 2 for 2. Now, let's try the one I was most worried about. This one. This is the replacement Decon box with the hard plastic top that doesn't seem to seal quite right. Let's push that down. I do have some air bubbles escaping from it. That's not a good sign. I don't know if you can see the bubbles or not, but there is some escaping. And I've got water on the inside. Oh yeah. Wet napkin. So, the replacement Decon box may be good for storing things in a bag and keeping them at least isolated, but as weatherproof or waterproof, fail. And why is that? Because, let's get this out here, this hard plastic case does not sit properly on that box top. So, our first fail. Now, as a comparison, let's take the original military issue. Same box. No air bubbles at all. Now, this is the one. It's the same basic design. I think probably the same plastic on the box, but this has the rubberized top. A little harder to find, but you can still find these. Alright, let's go ahead and wipe this off. Don't hear anything sloshing around the inside. So let's dry this off first. Open it. And now my fingers are a little wet, but dry as a bone. So the original passes with flying colors. Again, that rubberized lid is what makes all the difference. Now, let's go to the two flat bags. The first one was the original Zippo, Zippo, look at this. Ziploc bag. This is a standard issue Ziploc bag. I'm not even going to open it because we can see that it's perfectly dry, as you would expect. Anybody who's used a Ziploc bag, Zippo, why am I saying that? Ziploc bag will know that that holds the moisture out. So, at least for short-term immersion, that can be used as a dry bag. Always good to carry a couple in your pouch. We're not even going to open that up. Now for the Coughlins, this is a Marine store issued dry sack. And again, we can look through the plastic and see that that is a perfectly dry napkin. So again, the Ziploc bag and the Coughlins prove the value of these the Coughlin proves the fold over value. That's a 3 times fold over, keeps it absolutely dry, at least in short immersion. Now further down in depth, pressure may cause some problems, but at least for in your pack, for rain or dropping in a puddle or whatever, it's going to keep electronics and other personal valuables dry. Now, the big test. This is my digital multimeter for my personal radio gear. There is some paper on the back of that, and we're going to take the plunge. Here it goes. All the way in. No bubbles, thank you God. We're going to keep it down there for about 15-20 seconds, move it around, agitate it, give the water a chance to get in if it wants to. Not seeing any bubbles, that's a good sign. And again, this has the clear side to it, so if there's any water in there, we're going to see it built up on the inside, and I'll be buying a new meter. Okay, let's see, any water? None whatsoever. Wow, let's open this up. Let's wipe it off first. See how that goes. Again, this uses the 3 times wrap, so you've got good solid overwrap protection of any water coming in. Little water does build up underneath, so when you're going to open this, make sure that you open it all the way first and let the water dry out before, or drip out before you open the bag and expose what was inside. We're going to unclip it. Okay, fold it up. See the water that built up in there? Fold it up again. Actually take our towel and wipe that off there. Let's pull it out. And let's look at the paper first. Up. Little moisture. May not be a good thing here. Cables have a few little beads of moisture on them. Looks like we had a little leakage. Yeah, there is water inside here. The meter got wet. How about that? That meter did get wet. We're going to let it dry out. Well, that's disappointing. Didn't see it, but look. You can hear the water pour out of there. There was some water inside of there. Now, I don't think there were any holes, but that's a brand new bag. And it was sealed the right way. 3 times. Let's do it again once without the meter in it, since we subjected that enough now. There's just air in there. Okay, let's try it again. Hold it under. Now, doesn't appear to be any moisture at first. Wonder if that dripped in after we opened the bag. Let's just try it again. Do we see any moisture in there? Yep, there is some on the bottom. There is some moisture in there. A little bit of water in there on the bottom. I don't know if you can see it. Well, a surprising fail. I would list this as a good weatherproof, but it is not waterproof. This will probably protect your electronics, a little bit of drip there, if you're caught in the rain, but if it falls in the water, you're going to have a problem. So, fail on this. Hopefully I can get that meter dried out. But other than that, we know that some of our cases worked fairly well, and we'll go back and look at it in just a minute.